U.S. President Joe Biden's visit to the region is anticipated and closely watched by many, Israelis and Palestinians. But the expectations are different. While for Israel, the visit is more about regional cooperation and energy supply. For Palestinians from East Jerusalem and the West Bank, it is more about economic aid and bringing their costs back to the table. But not many think that this will really happen. Hitting the streets in East Jerusalem. Because of the Eid al-Adha holiday, many visitors from the West Bank are around. The atmosphere is festive, but when it comes to President Biden's visit, the tone becomes somber.
We were waiting and waiting for presidents of the US to come and to change something. I experienced maybe 3 or 4 presidents. No one did anything for Palestine. Everything becomes worse. There is nothing new worth mentioning. One moved the US embassy to Jerusalem. Now what does Biden want to do? Bring the embassy back to Tel Aviv? No.
He will, of course, speak about the economy. They have economic interests in the region. The Israelis have national interests. Arab states have economic interests. We, the Palestinian people, do not really have an economy. But Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, they have the power.
Biden himself, if the American people would choose a different president, maybe. But he is nothing to the Middle East. He comes for the fuel. He does not come for talks with the Palestinians and Israelis. Now, Palestinians will maybe benefit from one thing, financial aid, as always, but peace, nothing.
For Israel, the fact that Biden continues to Saudi Arabia after visiting Israel and the West Bank poses a chance, as the two countries are slowly preparing the ground to possibly establish relations. But can normalization between Arab states and Israel be beneficial to the Palestinian cause? Some say Biden could be a moving force.
Biden repeatedly say, even right after the signing of the Abraham Accord, was that he hopes that the normalization, of course, doesn't use the term Abraham Accord, but he hopes that normalization will contribute to improving the possibility or the probability that some progress will be done on the Palestinian-Israeli track as well.
In some Palestinian political circles, it is believed that Biden's stop in the West Bank is only a detour on his wider trip, that Palestinian interests are only an appendage, not taken too seriously.
This is what I feel Biden's visit is to Israel as the major concern, the major plan, much of the time, most important topics, and the visit to President Abbas is just by the way visit. And given that this visit is in Bethlehem and not the political capital of the PA in Ramallah, even assures what I'm saying is true.
On the streets in West Jerusalem, what do people here think about the outcome of Biden's visit in regard to the revival of peace talks? Last Friday, interim Prime Minister Yair Lapid called the president of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, Abu Mazen, years after the last time an Israeli prime minister and the Palestinian president spoke directly. Could that be a sign?
I think that peace can be created if there is someone to talk to about peace. I don't think that Abu Mazen is the person for that. I don't see the other side coming towards us. These talks, in my view, do not lead to peace. You need partners to do that, and I don't see that.
I think that what he can do is create a good atmosphere, willingness for his side. But the important willingness comes from our sides, those who live here. He can help. I don't think a lot. But if we don't help ourselves, no one will.
I think that every senior figure who comes from outside of the country can really contribute to the peace process. I am supporting that. The peace process exists, but it needs willingness from both sides, and I'm hopeful that it will work out.
Many impressions and different outsets in one city. If the visit of U.S. President Joe Biden has the potential to change the situation on the ground, maybe to even revive peace talks, people are skeptical. Pia Steckelbach, I-24 News, East and West Jerusalem.